You are listening to the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family.
What a beautiful day for horses in the morning.
You are listening to the #1 horse podcast in the world. Here's your entertaining look at the horse world and the people in it.
I'm Danielle Ammett from Lexington, Kentucky.
And I'm Meg Moxick from Southern Illinois, and you're listening to the Mustang Journey, the official podcast of the Mustang Heritage Foundation, and part of Horses in the Morning for August 2026. This episode is brought to you by the USDA Forest Service and Hispania Silk Products. Good morning, Horse World.
Coming up on today's show, we are rising to the challenge with the incredible story of Matt French and his Mustang Navarro as they prepare to represent Team USA on the world stage at the Working Equitation World Championship in Spain. We'll be talking about partnership, pressure, and the journey that's taken them from building trust to competing in Spain, proving just how far a Mustang can actually go. But before we bring in Matt, we want to talk a little bit about the Wild Mustang and Burro finals that we are hosting in Edinburgh, Indiana, at the Hoosier Horse Park, October 21st to 24th this year. Our entries are now open. So Mustang owners, riders, trainers, get your entries in now. We are looking for Mustangs from 8 different disciplines. We expect to see all kinds, and we're very excited about what this event will bring. We really want to showcase the Mustang and everything that they can do, because Mustangs can do anything.
And Danielle, what are the disciplines that our competitors can expect to have the opportunity to compete in at the finals this fall?
Yeah, so we are offering different divisions, different levels in dressage, Western dressage, jumping, Western versatility. We have an in-hand discipline. Then we also have Liberty, speed events, and green horse, which is really what we converted the EMM into. There's a 1-year adopted division and a 2-year adopted division. And then, of course, we have the Freestyle Invitational as well.
Yeah, and those freestyles, those are due to be submitted by September 1st, correct?
Absolutely. Yep. So we're looking for virtual freestyle videos submitted so we can figure out who we want to invite to the finals. But there's also that little extra now with the freestyles.
Yes.
We worked out with the Road to the Horse to do a freestyle invitational there at their event next year. So we're really using, the freestyle at the finals as kind of our audition. So if you audition for the freestyle at the finals, and then whatever we get in through those virtual submissions, we will consider for both the finals, our event, and then also Road to the Horse.
Yeah, and Road to the Horse is such a cool opportunity. I mean, that's a large stage in the equine industry to have the opportunity to perform in front of so many folks. So get your freestyles in. Let's see all your creativity.
I mean, it could be a career maker,
Yeah,
It's one
it
of
really
those
could
things.
be. Yeah, it's a once in a lifetime kind of opportunity to showcase yourself and your training abilities along with your horse and the partnership that you have with it. So.
Yep. And we are so excited to be able to represent Mustangs there, because there's been a tight relationship between Road to the Horse and colt starting and Mustangs, because it's very similar skills, and the trainers really appreciate watching that competition and learning from it.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's an event for all horsemen, young, old, and everything in between, new and seasoned. But those Mustang gentling skills definitely come in handy for the colt starting. And picking a horse, too. Learning to read the horses, to pick something that is well matched, well suited to the trainer. That's a skill set all in itself. So
it certainly is. Yep.
The USDA Forest Service manages around 7,100 wild horses and 900 burros, spanning approximately 2.5 million acres of the National Forest System lands. U.S. Forest Service wild horse territories are located within 19 national forests across 9 states. To discover wild horses and burros available for adoption through the U.S. Forest Service, visit Double Devil Wild Horse Corrals on Facebook. Today, we're joined by Matt French, who alongside his Mustang Navarro is preparing to represent Team USA at the Working Equitation World Championship in Spain. But today, we want to talk about more than getting to Spain. We want to talk about what it took to get there, the challenges, the growth, and the partnership behind it all. Matt, welcome to the Mustang Journey. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let's start at the beginning. From all of the horses that you've ridden and could have chosen for this, why a Mustang?
So actually, Navarro is my first horse ever that I've owned. I've been a trainer for years and years and years, and I worked at Medieval Times for 4 years in the early 2000s. And I always rode everyone else's horse. So when I first started getting into horses, I worked at a trail riding facility and fell in love with the horse that was my guide horse. And the owner promptly sold him. So I learned very early that you start falling in love with other people's horses, you're doomed to get hurt.
Yeah.
Same thing with my Medieval Times horse. He was this Arabian at the facility. He was 4 years old when I started there, and I trained him to put him in the show. And when I left, I always said when they retire him, I'd like him. So when they did retire him, I pursued it, and the company didn't want anything to do with me at that point. So unfortunately, I didn't get him. So again, my little heart's broken in this whole thing. So it was always keep him at arm's length, keep him at arm's length. So I became a trainer in San Diego. And it was just this time in my life where I thought it was a possibility. I was riding by this horse all the time at a ranch I worked at. And I loved his body. He was beautiful. This is Navarro. He wasn't Navarro at the time. He was a gray. His body was mostly white, and he had kind of a pewter colored blackish mane. And his tail was white. It was yellow. Let's be real. And I just, in passing, said, "Hey, what's his story? What's that horse?" And the owner of the facility got back to me. "He's for sale if you want him. No information, just for sale if you want him." And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know, maybe."
Yeah, so, sometimes that's not a great sign. You never know. It's
yeah, you never know. But I'd been starting horses and riding problem horses and worked with other people's Mustangs. Mm-hmm. So when I got the story on him and I trialed him, so I met the lady who was selling him. I offered her $500 for him because he was started badly and he was very scared and a little shut down.
I'm gonna be some work. Yeah,
he's gonna be some work. I'm up for the challenge, but I didn't want to pay a lot, so I offered $500, and she came back with, "All right, you can have him for $250, but you have to pay the backboard." I'm like, "All right, I guess I own a horse now."
You sold me. I guess I'll pay less.
I guess. What else do I have to pay? Yeah.
Okay, so then tell us, I guess you have to shorten this a little bit, but bring us on the journey. So how long did it take for you to really kind of break through to him? And when did you know it was going to be the kind of partnership that it ended up being?
Yeah, I was very unsure in the beginning. It was really odd having my own horse. The day I actually got him, I'm like, what do I do? Everyone else's horses, I was like, oh, this is what we're going to do. We're working on this. We're working on that, from immediately. But for him, I'm like, do I wash him? What do I do with him right now? Do I need to buy brushes? Like I said, he was very shut down and he was scared in the beginning. Someone had tried to start him and he was throwing people off. And that's kind of how he got left, I think, just in a bad state. So I kind of restarted him. He dumped me a bunch of times. And my solution is I put my girlfriend on him and lunged her.
Nice.
Yeah. It was like the good cop, bad cop, so she just up there loving on him while, he listened to me on the ground. And it probably took us several months of every single day showing up. We're just going to hang out. We're going to chill together, build the relationship before it was really work. So to me, like that made the biggest difference in everything. And I kind of made a little promise to him in the beginning. I'm like, listen, buddy, I'm going to be here every day. I will always show up for you. Like you and I would take on the world together.
And look at you now. You are.
I mean, I never knew at the beginning. Like, I wanted to like get into jousting again. Like, I didn't know what exactly I wanted to do. I was starting another client's horse at the same time in working equitation, as I had just started it. This was like 2018 or something like that. And I'm like, well, let's see what Navarro could do. Like, it's a ton of fun. Like, I used to watch the upper level riders at that time, and like the maneuvers they would do. I'm like, these are all things that are in my wheelhouse. So maybe I could train him to do it. And he's been game for anything I throw at him. Like, he's got such a great little heart. Like most of our Mustangs, like I feel like when they latch on to someone, like they want people in their lives. So I became his people.
Yeah. And then they'll do anything for you, right?
Oh my God, anything.
Yeah. We hear that a lot. And that's the story we love to keep sharing and telling. In the beginning, you may not, I mean, did you ever have the thought like, oh man, I don't know if we're really going to get this horse to want to be ridden?
100%. Yeah. What have I got myself into?
Right.
But how I got to where we are, we're currently training in Portugal right now. And we're doing the World Championship for working equitation in like, oh my God, like 3 weeks from now.
Yeah.
I'd been competing in working equitation, and kind of, we've always been good at speed because I like going fast and he's a really good boy. So we've done pretty well. You know, our dressage kind of been lacking a little bit. And so I probably restarted him 2 or 3 times. Every time you're learning something new and the judges give you feedback, like it was always back to the drawing board, start things over again, apply the lessons that you're being taught. And again, he was always like, all right, sure, I'll do that a little different. I'll do this a little different. So 2 years ago, someone contacted me and said they watched me in one of the shows, and they said, we're putting together an international team to send to Europe for this competition. We'd really like you if you go out for it. So this was 2025 is when like the Americans really pushed to get on this team. And there was a huge amount in my area, in the Southern California, Oregon, Washington area, that were part of this. And we did pretty good. And we were peaking the whole time. So, you know, a little rough, but every show we kind of got better and better and better until like there was a qualifier in Temecula, California in October last year. And we did really well. And it's been getting better ever since. So we got chosen, which I was shocked. I mean, you always think that you're going to do well, but like still like my little tiny Mustang, it's not little, but yeah. We've come a very long way.
No, that's awesome. Our theme this month is Rise to the Challenge. So I feel like you and Navarro are definitely doing that. Was there ever a point that you hit a wall with Navarro that made you rethink about your approach with him rather than just pushing through it?
I'm never a wall. I try to not look at obstacles or problems as deterrents. They're just the things you need to work on. Like if you go on a trail ride and your horse spooks from something, let's go look at it. Like he's not a bad boy for spooking. He needs to go see it. Like I look at it, he's kind of trying to tell me something. And I think obstacles in general, you know, whether it's working ec or cowboy challenges, are kind of a test of your relationship more than anything else, and your communication with him. So from the get-go, like that's kind of been our philosophy. I used to set up the obstacles. He would come with me to set them up, or when we were riding, I would pick up like the barrels and drag him around the arena. So he was always a part of the whole operation. So things have been relatively easy. And once I think he's learned to trust me, he's like, okay, I'm not sure, but I'll give it a shot for you.
Yeah. No, having that trust is.
Yeah. It makes your heart melt, right?
Yeah. No, it just makes all the difference so much. So as a trainer and competitor, you know the difference between asking a horse to step outside its comfort zone versus asking for too much. What do you know, how do you gauge that with Navarro? Like, what are some signs that, you know, specifically, and are they the same across the board with horses, or, you know, do you find those unique?
Yeah. I mean, I think he's more willing than a lot of other breeds I've dealt with. I don't think there's a, I mean, we're not talking about thoroughbreds here, but a lot of horses, you know, you could generalize for the most part.
Yeah.
I think it's your relationship again, and what your philosophies on how you approach obstacles or, you know, impedances. You know, if you go at it easy and you're a good boy, as long as you make a little effort, I'll recognize it, and, you know, we'll move forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that goes along with how I approach training my horses too, is I'm looking for that 1% and giving them the chance to be comfortable besides just pushing them through it and be like, you can do this.
Right.
So
I do a lot of trailer loading for people. And I've had done it with like emergencies where fires were happening and stuff. And it's that same principle, you know, just show me a little bit of try. That's it. I'm not asking you to get in the trailer. Just take a step forward, and then you build those step forwards until you're in.
Yes. No, I love that. So, all right. So you're preparing for the World Championship, which brings an entirely different level of pressure. How are you keeping your own nerves or expectations from reaching Navarro, especially when you're in the arena?
I'm pretty good with those things. I tend to not get nervous or excited until like you're outside the arena about to step in, and then you get the butterflies. I think it came a lot from doing shows, because there's so many things that can go wrong up until the moment, you know, the curtain opens and you go out. So I've learned nothing matters until you're about to go in. Then like the little butterflies start, and like, all right, I'm just doing this is excitement. Yeah. But I love it. I walk into the arena and I try to go in with like, I own this place. And I think he picks up on it too. Yeah, this is our arena. You're watching me right now.
That's right. That's right. I'm center of attention. Yeah. No, I think that's fantastic. So people, we talk a lot about, you know, what we teach our horses, and the really good ones tend to teach us. How has Navarro made you a better horseman?
Oh my God, in so many ways. It's like horse ownership has been a huge journey, and it's so valuable. God, just like the care and the attention and I mean, honestly, like the love you feel for your animal there's nothing that kind of beats it. Like, he sees me across the ranch, and he, you know, I'm sure you guys with your horses too, like they know you, they know like the way you walk, the way you talk, and they're just crave your attention. Yeah. Like people say we don't know like horse or animals' emotions. I'm like, it's kind of blatant when, you know, they like you. It's obvious. And feeling that, because I've attached to other people's horses, you know, like I was saying earlier, and you know, never got to kind of fulfill that relationship with other people's horses. Well, this has been, you know, multi-year journey. It's just been amazing.
Yes. No, I think
like he's taught me to be better in a million ways. Like just this journey to here has improved me as a rider and a trainer dramatically.
Yeah. What's one takeaway that you would share with anyone that's coming into training Mustangs specifically? You give a little piece of advice for that journey?
I'd be willing to go slow. Don't force it. You always go at your horse's speed. They tell you exactly what they kind of need at the moment if you're willing to listen and put your little agenda to the side.
I love that. That's perfect. Makes a better horse in the end.
Always, yeah. And you tend to move faster by going slow.
Yes.
That's our speed mantra, right? You go slow to go fast.
Exactly. No, that is very much one of my mantras. I'm very slow and I'm old. I don't want to get dumped on the ground. So I want them to be good and solid before I'm going to get on the back of that animal.
I did go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, Matt, I was just going to ask you, we love hearing about the bond that riders and trainers make with their Mustangs, and that's pretty undeniable across the board. But a lot of people have this concept that Mustangs aren't very competitive in the show arena. So I want to kind of talk about that a little bit. I mean, you said you had to obviously work for it and work your way up, but did you ever doubt that a Mustang was going to, be able to hold up to the other breeds and the other horses in those arenas?
Yeah, absolutely. This sport is dominated by like Lusitano, Andalusian, Iberian horses. It's kind of, the sport is built around them. I know he's got a ton of try. We can do all the same things they can do. We might not look exactly like them, but we're very proficient and we're great at the things we are great at. Mm-hmm. There's two of us competing with Mustangs, myself and Robin Bond, and we're at the highest level of the sport. So whoever says you can't be competitive on these things don't know what they're talking about. Yeah. They're just haven't given them a shot yet. They're beautiful, beautiful movers, hardy, the majority of them. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think my goal was to hopefully shine a light on what our Mustangs are capable of. Right. Taking a $250 horse that was born in the scrub brush in Nevada to Europe to represent the United States, at the highest level of this game, I think is a big deal.
Yeah, it's pretty special. I mean, we're excited for you, of course, and we love hearing that there are two Mustangs on the team. That's just, again, it just shatters all of those rumors that Mustangs are only going to get so far, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And we're kind of representing the both ends, right? Where Robin's horse, Zapata, is a Kiger from a BLM management facility. And then I have a reservation Mustang, which is kind of, looked at as trash a lot of times.
Right. And you have other Mustangs as well. Is that right?
No, he's the only one. I did a Mustang tip challenge.
Oh, gotcha.
Several years ago, and we got him specifically to sell. And we did good. We picked a big, pretty one. Like that was my criteria.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend, she kind of started it with the tip challenge. She did one.
Gotcha. Yeah. Those usually do go the flashy, the pretty ones go first, right?
Right first. I've seen the online auctions.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess if you wanted to give some of our listeners some just practical advice on they have a Mustang, they want to be competitive, or they're enjoying their time with their horse, but would you just stick with that same advice of go slow to go fast, or do you have anything else?
Educate yourself. Your horse is only going to know as much as you know, unless you send your horse off to be trained by someone else. You are the limiting factor. So our own education is kind of paramount above anything else. So step out of your comfort zone. If you're a Western rider, take dressage lessons. I mean, I think we should all be taking dressage lessons, but specifically, like, it's kind of in the Western world, not necessarily looked at as worthwhile or not something that they can do, but it's just training. It's the foundations of training.
Yeah.
So educate yourself. It's the most important thing you could do for everything. Yeah. I don't just do working equitation. Like, that's just the game we decided to play together. We do trail all the time, like do gymkhanas, like we do our jousting stuff.
He's an everything horse, right?
Yeah. I wanted my cake and eat it too. And we all should.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is with some other breeds, you don't get that. You'll have your one reining horse that does reining, and you have your dressage horse that does dressage. And we've bred them for such specific jobs that sometimes they really can't excel at another job, right? So
yeah. Or maybe it's the limitations we put on them.
Yeah, right.
This sport is good at wrangling people in from other disciplines, because it is dressage based, but I mean, it's obstacles, which appeals to a lot of the Western world. And there's a speed event, and then we do cattle as well. Right. So getting the people that are, and like, I mean, I never got into competitive dressage because I'm like, well, what's the point of this? So this has a point. Like you've got to be able to do your movements precisely on obstacles and then utilize it in with the cattle. Like the cattle is kind of the or the culmination of everything that you're training for, because you have to have the precision of movement. You have to have explosive speed and be able to slow down exactly when you want, not be a hot mess while you're doing it.
Right. So tell us, we've heard of all of the perfections that Navarro has, but what about, does he have any weird quirks or something that you really have to like watch out for?
We struggle with pushing down into the contact. He wants to keep his head up and kind of come up above it. So we've spent a lot of time, getting him to stretch down and out. He runs around in the pasture with our other horses and he's head high, proud and everything. So getting him to use his body better has been one of our challenges. Don't let the judges see this, so I don't want them to know we're struggling with it.
We won't tell, I promise. No.
Little stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I think actually a lot of Mustang owners might be able to relate to that. Is they just come with a high head, and it takes some time to rebuild those muscles.
Yeah, it really does. And
learning how to teach your horse how to do those things. Again, that's our own education, and then applying it to our sweet ponies.
Yes. All right. One last fun question that I would like to know, Matt. What is your favorite obstacle that you and Navarro do well together that you enjoy?
We're really good at the gate. So to me, it's 100% practical. Right? We should be riding around our arenas, opening gates anyway, like to the round pen or to the arenas.
Yes.
So I've trained lots of horses on this. So he and I have done it a million times. Now it's just nail, square, halt. Stand there without immobility, or with immobility, no movement.
Right.
Smoothly move through the obstacle, stop, square, precision.
Yeah.
And it's so mental. All of that stuff is mental on me. He's, like we teach our horses to be followers in the dance, and we've got to be good leaders. So learning how to be a good leader is the journey.
Oh, I like that. Learning how to be the good leader. Yeah. That's so important, because they do say that, the horse is the reflection of their person. And I always think about that every time I'm working my horse, especially when they're having a hard moment. And I'm like, how does this reflect me, and how can I improve myself so that we don't, that I'm not being the source of that. Right.
You're the adult in the room here.
Yeah.
You're the source of information. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Matt, thank you so much for joining us and for sharing your story behind everything that you're accomplishing with Navarro. We're so excited to see you both in that arena. Give us the dates of the show again so everybody can watch.
The dates of the show, let me open up the calendar here, are September 8th through the 13th.
Okay.
8th is our vet jog. So it's a big show. There's 22 nations competing, and I think over 70 horse rider combos that are coming on this relatively small town in Spain.
Wow.
So we roll in September 6th, the horses move in. They've got a day or two to kind of settle. September 8th is the vet jog, and then dressage starts September 8th and 9th and 10th, I'm sorry. And then ease of handling is the 10th and 11th. Speed is September 12th, and then the cattle and the award ceremony is Sunday, September 13th.
Oh, that's so exciting.
It should be live streamed. We don't have a link yet, but they're telling us it's going to be streamed.
Okay. Well, make sure you send it to me so we can watch for sure and share it on the page. That'll be fun. Yeah.
We will definitely be cheering you guys on, and very excited that you're representing not only the U.S., but Mustangs in particular.
Our Mustangs, yeah.
Hispania Silk's grooming line utilizes silk proteins in each product. We are environmentally conscious, having selected from the finest mix of natural, organic, and cosmetically engineered ingredients. All Hispania Silk's natural ingredients are derived from sustainable plant and mineral resources. We utilize many plant-based conditioners and proven moisturizers to work together with amino-modified organosilicone technology. Buy them at espanaproducts.com or your local retailer.
Well, Danielle, it was really great to have Matt on the podcast here today. It was,
yeah, right.
It kind of broke my heart at the beginning to know how much he wanted a horse of his own, but it was just such a process for him to find that horse. And then the fact that, he really had, options of any breed across, the horse world, but he ended up with a Mustang, and, him being able to excel like he has, and oh my gosh, is going on Team USA to Spain. That's incredible.
Right. It's such a great story to say, oh yeah, I paid, he ended up being $250 for the horse.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, that's such a great story. And it's not that, it's so interesting because the $250 was probably what a difficult horse with some bad history, is going to bring in. And I hate to say it, but especially Mustangs, they're not always easy when they've had a bad time. So I just love that he was like, yeah, man, come on, let's go. And then turned out to be like this fantastic partnership. And it's just a fairy tale story all around.
Yeah, no, it is. But I think that's a true testament to being willing to put the time in, and not push these horses through and just expect, this is what I want you to do. But instead really bringing them along and treating them, so to speak, as an equal, that they have thoughts and feelings. And I'm not trying to be like all rainbows and butterflies. Don't take me that way. It's just that, they are a living, breathing creature, and they do have thoughts and opinions about things. But if you can meet them and make a true partnership out of it, sky's the limit, just as Matt is showing us with Navarro. So, I think, and we are seeing, you had those couple of little girls that you interviewed at US Pony Finals. There's becoming a huge demand. Like you're seeing them more and more out doing. Yeah, people are becoming more open to the idea of the Mustang.
Well, and this is why we're trying to highlight them, because I feel like the Mustangs are out there and they're competing and they're doing well, but they're almost like hidden. And I mean, other than the people who know what the brand looks like, if they have a brand, because not all Mustangs have a brand, right?
Right.
Not everybody notices, what type of horse that is, especially because, and this is the only quote unquote breed that this happens with. They can be anything from a pony to a big honkin' draft horse type,
Yes.
And they're all Mustangs and everything in between.
Exactly. Yeah. And there's no, color too is another thing, like you don't see a Palomino thoroughbred. That's not a thing, Mustangs come in every imaginable color and then some. And you're like,
every
I don't even
shape,
know what to classify
size,
that
color.
as.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So we're really unique in that way. And I think they're hidden in, among the rest of the horses. I think they kind of get washed out. So, that's what we're trying to do is highlight them, bring them to the forefront, show people that, oh yeah, they're out there doing stuff. And by the way, they're phenomenal.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. They
so
give
cool.
you so much heart and effort if you'll just give them the chance to really shine.
And take your time. Like we keep saying, it's, and that's a lot of the reason. Taking the time is a lot of the reason that we, kind of stopped doing the extreme Mustang makeovers and things like that. It's, yes, they had their time and they had their place and they did so much good for bringing the Mustang out to the world. But a lot of the trainers were struggling with, the timeline, and they wanted to take more time with the horses. They wanted to put the right foundation on them. And, how do you argue with that? So those kind of events, just, they saw their day. And I feel like, we're moving on to now, highlighting the Mustangs that have taken the time and really produce like this amazing competitive horse.
Yeah, no, because the makeovers, again, like you said, they served a purpose, which was good. But really, to see these horses succeed, you're sacrificing one thing or the other. You're either making a really great horse, but they're not going to do well in the arena because you have such a limited time on training, or vice versa. They're a great show horse, but it's not necessarily something that someone else can take home and, just hop on and go and be successful. They still need more training. Yeah. And I think that in the long run, it gives them such a better impression across the board, across the general public, to be able to see them doing and competing, not just, these short little stints. And like, well, that horse kind of, lost its mind there a little bit in that class or whatever. And it's just such a small snippet of the training, and you can only do so much in those 100 days, 120 days, whatever.
I mean, honestly, it's absolutely insane to take a completely feral horse and be able to, get them to that level. I mean, it's impressive.
No,
at
absolutely.
the same time, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like that's really hard even for domestic horses, let alone a feral one.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I was telling someone the other day and I was explaining to him the process because I was like, oh yeah, you should come. It would be a great time. And he was looking at me like I had 3 heads. He's like, you're doing what? Taking a wild horse and you're going to ride it in 6 months at a show? I was like, absolutely. And he was like, oh, and he was a 20-something year old young man, and I'm twice his age, old enough to be his mama. And I'm like, yeah, I'm doing it. And, but it is such a cool thing. And those horses are totally capable. They have the mind for it. But yeah, you've got to give them a chance. And it's that 1%. You're not looking for the 100%. And like Matt said, and that's definitely been one of my mantras is go slow to go fast. Because if you go fast straight out of the gate, the horse that creates versus the horse that if you gave it the time to process and really learn it and understand it, like he said, Navarro's like, I trust you. So even though I don't know what you want me to do, I'm going to do it because I trust you. That's the exact same mindset that I have with my horses. I'm like, lots of people right now, Magic, they're riding their horses and that's fantastic. But I'm not there yet. I'm old and I don't want to get dumped in the dirt. So I'm very much of that mindset. Like we're going to have this incredible bond before I'm just going to climb on you.
Yeah.
So,
and every horse has a different, level of what they can handle.
Take. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but that relationship is just so important.
I think that's what makes Mustang trainers so special. The more that I've met, Mustang trainers, and they're different. There's no doubt about that. But they're special because they can read the horse and understand those limits better than a lot of other trainers I've known in my life. And not only that, but I think you said it to me before where, you're not always out there with the ego in the forefront trying to win every fight. It's not about, because a lot of trainers have that rule, like, oh, I got to win every, that's the rule with horses. You have to win. And with a Mustang, you might learn that is not an option. So you also have to know to read them, read the limits and go, okay, I'm asking too much. That's on me. Many apologies. Let's wrap it up here.
Yeah. Let's reset. Let's find a happy stopping point and let's revisit this again later, Yeah. And clearly, let's break it down. Let's make smaller baby steps.
And that worked for Matt, obviously, right? Like with Matt and Navarro, that worked for them to take their time. And I think what he said, 2 months, it took 2 months of just sitting on him and saying, hey, buddy, this is what we're going to do. No big deal. They're like, I don't know if every trainer would have that kind of patience, but look how it's turned out for them,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, like you said, the Mustang trainers are, we're just a bit of a different breed. And, I think patience is one of those virtues because you have to have patience with these horses. They require it. They're not, some of them, I'm pretty sure they just want to be domesticated and they're like, just take me home. I've had some and they're like, yep, halter me. Yep. I'm going to go wherever you go. I'm going to do whatever you do. Brush me head to toe. I love my stall. I love my new life. But a lot of them, they demand your patience. You have to earn it. You have to work for it. So, it's, if you don't have that kind of personality that goes with that, then you might be better off, having someone else gentle it for you and then you come along. But I suggest that, you give it a shot, because it's personal growth for sure to train a Mustang.
And then once they've accepted the job, I have never seen so many horses that are so absolutely rock solid as Mustangs. You know, once they know their job and they like it and they're like, oh yeah, I accepted all this. This is cool. I just could not believe how rock solid they are across the board.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they make a great all around horse. And that was another thing, like you pointed out earlier with Matt, that, you know, he can still go home and do gymkhana. He can do trail. You know, it's not just working egg. And I think that's, you know, we have, like you said, we have our horses that we've bred specifically for specific jobs. And not that they couldn't do other things, but they're intended for that job.
Oh, I can guarantee you my warm blood cannot jump. There is not a bone in her body that makes her capable of jumping over a stick at all.
There you go. There you go.
She was bred to do dressage, and those feet stay on the ground.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. And that's, I feel that. Yeah. So, you know, they're just such a cool all around versatile horse.
You can find the Mustang Heritage Foundation at mustangheritagefoundation.org. You can follow Horses in the Morning on Facebook. Just search for Horses in the Morning.
Thanks to our sponsors, U.S. Forest Service, Double Devil Wild Horse Corrals, and Hispania Silk. Find your herd with Mustang Heritage Foundation.